You, MF and 2, what's good with you? It's your man's Antidote, back with an additional one. Thanks for pulling up on the channel. While you're at it, go ahead, hit the subscribe notification bell, hit the like button, and share this video. Why? Because you cats really need to hear this. Hope everybody having a good evening. My evening turned out pretty good, or day, I should say. Had a good day at work. Even though they tried to kill me, but I wouldn't allow them to do that. But it was raining earlier. It was raining earlier, but the day they ended up clearing up, so ended up being a beautiful day. But let's get right into it. First off, let's talk about Clarissa Shields and Savanah Marshall. They were supposed to have a fight. They're supposed to have a fight yesterday, but it didn't happen. It got postponed. They were supposed to have the fight in London at the O2 Arena, but like I said, it got postponed due to the death of Queen Elizabeth. I ain't gonna say rest in peace. I mean, I'm not dissing the dead or nothing, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna, worship a woman or give praise to a woman who can't stand me simply because I'm a black man. And honestly, black men and black women shouldn't go out their way and be all sad and shedding crocodile tears over this woman, because if she was to meet y'all up close and personal, guess what? She would not like y'all. I don't care how much ass you kiss, and I don't care how much she say she's quote unquote nice to you. She does not like your ass. So that's the reality of it. So anyways, the fight will be postponed to October the 15th. Still can't wait to see the fight, and I still think it's going to be a classic fight. So I will be back later. Well, probably not later, but probably the week of the fight, I will be back making my prediction of the fight. But what I really want to talk about is Deontay Wilder. He's coming back on October the 15th. He's going to be fighting a top contender by the name of Robert Helenius, and this will be his first fight in a year since his epic and classic battle with Tyson Fury for the heavyweight championship. And honestly, it's great to see him back in action. Yes, I fucks with Deontay Wilder. I fucks with him, boxing and beyond. I really fucks with Deontay Wilder or whatever. People be like, I can rock with Deontay Wilder. He can't fight. He can't box. So I said, alright. You won't fight him. You won't fight him. And if you do, you going to sleep. Simple as that. But anyway, what I really want to talk about this evening is this past what was it, Thursday or Friday? I was on break. I was on break, and I was on YouTube, and I came across the interview he did with Fighthype. And it was a pretty good interview, by the way. It was a dope ass interview. But then again, in retrospect, to me, in my humble opinion, all of Deontay Wilder's interviews are dope. Even if you don't agree with shit he say, it's still, his interviews still be dope. But he was talking about Luis Ortiz, how much he respects him, and he gave him props his effort. He gave him his respect and his effort against Andy Ruiz or whatever, and that was an interesting fight, by the way. That was a very, very interesting fight. Everybody got their money's worth, in my humble opinion. But yeah, he was talking about how much respect he had for Luis Ortiz. Then he was talking about not sleeping on his opponent, Robert Helenius. You know, like I said, he's a top contender, and they sparred before, so he ain't sleeping on him, man. Shoot, and in a sport like boxing, hey, you shouldn't sleep on your opponent. You know, honestly, in all combat sports, you shouldn't sleep on nobody. Shouldn't sleep on anybody, but people do, and look what happens all the time. But what I really, the part I really want to talk about in the interview was when he was talking about Tyson Fury. The interviewer asked him would he ever squash his beef with Tyson Fury, and with no hesitation and with no sugarcoating and no beating around the bush or tap dancing or whatever. He said, no, I will never squash my beef with Tyson Fury. I mean, he ain't putting those exact words, but he said no. And to be honest with you, I get it. Just from a principle standpoint. It's just the principle. It ain't got nothing to do with boxing. I mean, it does, but I'm looking at it more on principle. That's what I value principle. You know what I'm saying? Principle and boundaries. And I believe, in my opinion, if he'd have beat Fury in the third fight, he probably would feel the same way. In my opinion, he wouldn't. He probably wouldn't squash his beef with them, even if he would have won. That's just my opinion. And that's for a simple fact. Listen, there's just some beefs that just won't ever get squashed once you cross the boundaries, and once that person stand on his principle, yo, there's just some beefs that's never going to get squashed. And even with violation, even when people violate or whatever, like, nah, you do some when you do some unforgettable things, you're not gonna get to nah. No, it just won't never get squashed. That's all. And just, I mean, prime example, 50 and Ja Rule. That beef ain't gonna never get squashed, cause they got too much history, and it's too deep and too intense, man. Like, yo, like, people actually got stabbed and shot and beat up over that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So that beef will never get squashed. Hell, and going into boxing, going into boxing or whatever. Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick made Trevor Berbick rest in peace. You know, that beef never got squashed. And hell, you can even look at the interview on Vlad TV where he was talking about Trevor Berbick. He said, I mean, he just did not like the man, you know, because he violated Larry Holmes, and you know, Larry Holmes ain't no punk. He don't play that. He stand on principle. And with that, when he stood on his principles and stuff, and Trevor Berbick violated, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Another example, John Bones Jones and Danny Cormier. You know, that beef ain't gonna never get squashed. Even though John Bones beat him, but nah, he ain't gonna squash his beef with Danny Cormier, and vice versa. You know, you know, boundaries been crossed, and they stood on principle and stuff. So they stand on their principles. So nah, they ain't gonna. No, they're not. They're not. And you know, Wilder feel like Tyson Fury cheated. You know, and Tyson Fury is known to be a cheater. It's documented. And people, whether you want to accept it or not, is the proof is in the pudding. He has known to cheat. He's known to cheat. Oh man, you just all on Wilder dick or whatever. He beat Wilder. I said, okay. I just like, okay, whatever. He beat Wilder the first fight, they fought him out. They fought him out. They talked about it was a draw. No, he beat Wilder. I said, well, okay, but think about this logic right here. If you gonna sit there and say Fury beat Wilder, then it's fair for me to say that Sugar Ray Leonard beat Tommy Hearns in their rematch back in '89. And guess what? Sugar Ray Leonard was dropped twice, in the 3rd round and the 11th round. So if you want to say that means Sugar Ray Leonard beat Tommy Hearns then. And we all know Tommy Hearns really beat Sugar Ray Leonard in the rematch. Hell, even Sugar Ray Leonard said that himself several times. You feel what I'm saying? So, but nonetheless, it was a great fight. You feel me? Now, second fight. That's a fight I'll never forget. That was 2 weeks before my fight. Yes, Fury beat Wilder, and I never forget when I came to work that Sunday, and everybody came to work rushing me like I was the one fighting. Like they was rushing me like they were trying to interview me or some shit like that. But they asked like, yo, do you see the fight? You see the fight? You see the fight? What you think? I said, hey man, Wilder got his ass whooped. You know, simple as that. Wilder got his ass whooped. He gonna, he gonna get his face back. Hey, and I gave Tyson Fury his credit. You feel me? And I'm sure 50 million other people did. Hey, got his ass whooped. Then when I looked at the video surface, I said, hold up, man. I don't think his glove's supposed to be looking like that, bro. Honestly, they not. So he did some suspect shit. And and then Wilder said something about how his water being poisoned and stuff. And I was like, hey man, that's possible. They been some foul play in boxing before. They been some foul shit going on in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Back then and to this day. We just don't. It's just, the sad part about it is everybody turn a blind eye to it. You feel me? But cheating still goes on to this day, homie. Stop it. It really does. And in the third fight, like I mentioned earlier, it was an instant classic. Instant classic and an epic battle. And I was pulling for Wilder, of course, but Fury won. Hey, Fury won. But to me, I felt like it exposed something. I felt like it exposed something. I felt like it exposed the second fight. Meaning that, I lost train of thought. Meaning that I felt like something was weird going on in the second fight. People can argue all they want to. Man, Wilder can't box. That's how he got his ass whooped in the second fight and this and that. I'm like, okay. But my whole thing is this. If he's a one-trick pony, or if he can't box or do this and that and the third, then how the hell he lasted 11 rounds in the third fight? Explain that. Make that make sense to me. If he can't box, if he's a one-trick pony and this and that and the third, how the hell he lasted 11 rounds? Please explain that. If he can't box or he can't fight and this and that and the third, don't you know he would have been... the fight would have been over 5 rounds or less? Don't y'all know that shit? You feel me? And then which brings me to this point. If he's a one-trick pony, if he can't box or this and that and the third, how the hell he get dropped by Wilder? A guy who can't box. A guy who is a one-trick pony. How the hell he allowed Wilder to put him on his ass a few times? Please explain that. Alright then. Evidently, he got some skills. Evidently, he got more skills than you give him credit for. But anyway, I know I done got deep into that, but the longer the short, like, yo, yeah, he violated him. Wilder felt like he violated him. So and Wilder stand on this principle. And once a man stand on this principle, there ain't no coming back from it. So hell, he ain't gonna never squash his beef with Tyson Fury. Never. And Which brings me to this question. Am I surprised? Hell no. Now, initially, I thought he was going to... Initially, for some reason, I thought he was going to squash it, with them. But, after the third fight, when Fury came over there and tried to shake Wilder's hand and this and that and the third, and Wilder said, man, hell no. Like, I don't respect you and this and that and the third. I was like, okay, he just... so he's just very disappointed right now. He going to end up. But now looking at this interview, nah, it didn't surprise me. Initially, I thought he was going to squash it, but after that and this interview, it didn't surprise me. And I don't blame Wilder. Once you stand on your principle, that's that. If he violate you, nah, you got to go. Once you violate me, and I stand for something, no, you dead to me, homie. That's just me. And I feel Wilder on that. And then he was talking about being open to run it back with them for a fourth fight. Why not? I don't know why you want to run it back with him. He going to get beat again. You don't know that shit. The fourth fight ain't happened yet, so you don't know. This is boxing. You never know what the fucking happened. Never. I don't give a fuck if he did get his ass whooped three times or 1,000,000 times. Shit. Look at Marquez and Pacquiao. Hell. And somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Jake LaMotta and Sugar Ray Robinson fought like 4 or 5 times? So what would be different? And then on top of that, it won't like, it won't like and it was and how should I put it? And third fight it was like I mentioned earlier, it was a classic battle, classic back and forth battle with 5 knockdowns in the fight, and it ended up being a knockout. So, and even though you might pick Fury to win, okay, cool, but guess what? You bound to see a knockout. You're gonna see a knockout, and everybody excited to see what's been happening with the drama that's leading up to the fight and the fight itself. So hell, why not be a fourth fight? Shit, I'll watch it. Fuck it, I'll watch it. And then what was I getting ready? I was getting ready to say something. Just went away. But yeah, like I said before, a fourth fight wouldn't be a bad idea. Assuming Wilder, defeat whoever's in front of him, yeah, I don't see why not. And like I said before, hey, the man felt like he violated him, so beef will never get squashed. And then, one thing I want to also add, another thing, Wilder just one of them type cats where if you get in a fight with him, I mean, listen, if you from the South, or you was raised in the South, or you lived in the South at any portion of your life, if you beat a nigga ass or whatever, they gonna come back and fight you till they get they lick back. That's Wilder. That's Wilder. And I don't know if this has been said before, but if it has, then yes, I can agree to it. Yeah, if you beat Wilder, he gonna come back and get you till he gets that dub. You feel me? Until he gets that dub. And that's equivalent. That's just like with Mike Tyson said to Tyrell Biggs, like, yo, if I don't kill him, it don't count. That's equivalent to that, because if you look at it in reverse, or look at it from Tyrell Biggs' angle, or whatever the case may be, it's like, yo, if I don't kill him, then Tyrell Biggs gonna come back some more wanting to fight me, and then, hey, I really have to kill him to beat him, or whatever. That's that's pretty much the equivalent to that. That's just what it is. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all for the evening. About to catch this Cowboys and Buccaneers game, and I hope everybody have a great evening. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, and Deontay Wilder, welcome back. Glad to have you back. Put some excitement into the heavyweight division, you know, and hope you get the strap back and then some. But without further ado, leave a comment in the comment section. I'm out.